Hey, fourth graders. So as promised, I'm going to be making you guys this video. This is your Unit 2 practice test. We had assigned pages 91 and 92 up to number 7. I did decide to go ahead and go through number 10. I know most of you haven't done that, which means you're going to do it with me. So I want all of you to have your math workbooks out right now. You should be on page 91. You need a pencil, maybe a highlighter, maybe a pen, and a scratch notebook or a scratch piece of paper. So have those materials out. I'm going to start sharing. I was having trouble, of course, so let's try again and see if I can get it to work. Yay. All right, here we go. So please bear with me. And I'm probably going to disappear from the camera as well. You don't really need to see me. You just need to hear my voice. Hopefully that'll come in a little more clear. All right, you guys. So what I'd like you to be doing is you're checking your work. If you didn't do it because you didn't know how, you're doing it with me now. And if we come to a problem that you feel like you need more help on, you don't understand what I'm doing, then I want you to highlight or circle, do something so that when we meet today, you can ask me and you'll have a better chance of getting your questions answered. Okay, I'm going to try one thing. There we go. That should help. No more slow motion. All right, here we go. So you guys are checking. Number 1, I highlighted the equation 20 times 40. You were to use the number tiles over here to plug in. If we refer back to each number, we can see that this is the expanded notation. They're dragging out and expanding the tens first. So in my first number, I'm thinking, how many tens in 20? Well, there are 2 of them. Therefore, the 2 goes into the box. Okay? So we have 2 times 10, that makes 20. Times, now we have our second number, 40. So again, they're dragging out, they're expanding 40 by 10. So how many tens are there? There are 4. That's why we're putting the 4 in the box. Okay, now we continue on. We'll see the problem was partially done for us. You can see that the ones were pulled out and put into parentheses. So what did you have to fill in were the tens. The tens are going to go together. Okay. Moving on down, we're condensing. That means we're making our problem smaller. We're starting to solve now. Okay. 2 times 4, that's 8. That's how we got this number. Remember, anything in parentheses, we have to do first. They kindly did the 10 times 10 for us, and that's a good check. We know that's 100. Final step, we solve. 8 times 100 comes up to 800 as our final product. Again, I was using numbers from the tiles, and I was plugging them in. I crossed them out as I used them, and see, I didn't use all of them. There were 3 left untouched. Okay, all right, let's move on. Now this one, I'm going to go back up here like this. I wrote it out in my notebook because this one was a little bit tricky. For number 2, it asks us to select through letters A through E all the expressions that we could use to solve this equation. This is the 2 by 2, 36 times 25, and we needed to mark everything that applied. Now, if you're checking yourself, B, C, and D were the 3 correct expressions. I'm going to explain how we knew those, okay? I'm going to show you my notebook. I rewrote the 2 by 2, and I wanted to make an area model because this really clearly shows it. I'm taking each number and I'm breaking it up. 36 would be 30 plus 6. 25 would be 20 plus 5. So now I have my 2 by 2. Now I can start creating the partial products. This partial would be 30 times 20. Then I would have 6 times 20. Then I could have 30 times 5. And finally, 6 times 5. Okay? So if I keep this in mind, I'm going to push my book up a little bit. And I'm going to look back over here. It's really hard to see both. Let's see, maybe I can do it like this. There we go. Once I have this area model made, it's nice because I can look at what parts go together. Well, if I start on letter A, 30 times 6 plus 20 times 5, that's not enough. I didn't hit all 4 partial products. So that's the really important thing. I've got to make sure I get them all. Now B, look here, 30 times 20 plus 30 times 5, right? So this multiplied out to each of these numbers, plus now the 6 multiplies out to each of these numbers. So that's what this is showing. Moving on to C, it started with the ones. So we have, you can see a 5 times 6 plus 5 times 3 tens. Well, 3 tens is 30, right? So it's just going backwards now, backwards. It's going the other way. 2 tens times 6. So this is here. And then 2 tens times 3 tens, that's the last one. So it just went starting with the 5, it went the opposite way. And then finally, D, it took 30 and it just multiplied 20 plus 5. And then it took the 6 and it multiplied 20 plus 5. So it just went out to the numbers and put them into parentheses. Okay? We could already tell E would not be a correct answer because just by adding alone, you're not going to get anywhere near multiplication. So I would rule E out right away. Okay? So I would say do that area model and then you'll start to see what can be put together. All right, I know that was really a lot of explanation. Number 3, they simply asked us to solve a problem. 24 pencils in a box, 90 boxes. How many pencils are there? This is just asking for the product. 24 times 90, 2,160. They already gave you pencils, so you're good to go there. Okay, let's go down to number 4. A clown bought 18 bags of round balloons with 20 balloons in each bag. He bought 26 bags of long balloons with 35 balloons in each bag. How many more long balloons are there than round balloons? This is really important. I'm going to use a different highlighter. How many more? I know those keywords means minus. That means this is a multi-step problem. So I'm going to have to do 2 parts. Here's my first part, round balloons, 18 bags with 20 in each bag. 18 times 20. I'm going to do something. When there's a number that has a 0, remember, I can take the whole numbers. I know 18 doubled, 18 times 2 is 36. There's 1 10, so I'm going to add a 0 to it. Okay? The next part are my long balloons. He bought 26 bags of long balloons with 35 balloons in each. So first I have to find the total of long balloons. That would be 26 bags, 35 in each. Let's get a total. 6 times 5 is 30. Carry the 3. 5 times 2 is 10, 11, 12, 13. I put it down. The 5 is done. The 3 is done. I'll do a placeholder. Now I'm moving to the tens. 3 times 6, 18. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. Let's add our two products together. 0, 8, 9, 10, 11, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so there were 910 long balloons, 360 round balloons. How many more? Goodness, this is actually a 3-step, isn't it? I'll take my long balloons and subtract my round balloons to find out how many more. 0. I can't take 6 from 1, so I'm going to ungroup. 11 minus 6 is 5, and 8 minus 3 is 5. So there were 550 more long balloons. And that is all of my work. Okay, now if you needed to pause and finish this one, please do. Make sure that you can see and understand all 3 steps. This is just the final answer. These parts are very important because you couldn't have gotten to the final without those. Okay, moving on. We're on number 5. Remember, if you don't understand something, I want you to please mark it so you can ask me today in math. Okay, number 5, we were to draw an area model. We set this up together yesterday in class. 7 times 682. So let's put these two together. This would be 7 times 600, right? So 7 times 6 is 42. There are 2 zeros in hundreds, so 4,200. Going to the 10s, 7 times 80. I know 7 times 8 equals 56. 1 0 for the 10, 560. Plus 7 times 2, those are our ones. I know that that's 14. Let's highlight our partial products because next step, we have to add them together. So I'll use this space. I'm going to start with the largest number. I'm going to make sure that I'm lining everything up. And I'm going to add it. Okay. 0, 0, 4. 6 and 1 is 7. 5 and 2 is 7. Ooh, sorry for that. 4,774 is the answer that I get. Okay, there's my area model. Explain how you use the model to find the product. So here's where I can either show equations or I can just write using sentences. So I'm going to say something like, I broke the hundreds, tens, and ones places up to find partial products. Then I added them together. To find the total product. Okay. That was long. Now, I always say you do not have to have the exact same words as me, but should be generally similar. And if you didn't have anything, then please feel free to borrow and make your own or use what I have. So I'm just telling you, I broke the hundreds, tens, and ones place up to find my partial products. Then I added them together to find the total product. So here's my answer. Okay. And that is number 5. All right, let's keep moving down. There it is. Okay, for number 6, we have to say yes or no after we read each equation. Let's see if it's true. Number 1, or letter A, 8 times 4 is 32. I hope that's very easy for you. Definitely yes, that's straightforward. Okay, letter B. I'm always going to look at the whole numbers. You guys are going to see 8 and 4 are your whole numbers throughout. We already know they should all be starting with 32 or 3 and 2, okay, which they do. Our next job is to see how many zeros they are depending on the place that we're multiplying by. This one would be 2 zeros after 32. So there's my 32. I'm only going in the hundreds. 1, 2. Ooh, this one I don't like. It's got a third zero. Nope, not correct. Again, 8 and 4 is 32. We're in the tens. They each have a 0, so we should have our 2 zeros. Yep, that's it. Okay, letter D. 8 and 4 again is 32. We're in the thousands, so there are 3 zeros after 32. 1, 2, 3. Yep. And finally, letter E. Let's see. Again, 8 and 4 is 32. There's 100, which is 2 zeros, and a 10. So there should be 3 zeros after the 32. 1, 2, 3, 4. Too many. Nope. Okay, yes, no, yes, yes, no. All right. I hope that one felt pretty straightforward to you guys. Let's go down. This one was also straightforward, just finding the product. That's the answer. We rewrote the problem together. Let's do it. The 4 is in charge. 4 times 2, that's 8. The 4 goes to the 5. 4 times 5 is 20. There is no more math, so the answer is 208. And that's it for number 7. Okay, flip the page. These are probably the new problems that I didn't assign, so I'm guessing you haven't done yet. Please do them with me now. Okay, here we go. Number 8, again, we've got these number tiles and we just need to plug them in. This is an area model. So if I'm breaking up 29, that means there are 2 10s plus 9 1s. Remember we talked that the other side is exactly the same. So again, I'm going to put 20 on this side plus 9 1s. 48 is my other factor, so it's going on the length. How many 10s? There are 4. 40 plus 8 1s. 40 plus 8 is 48, which will be the same down below. Okay, so 40 plus 8, that makes 48. We've used all of these numbers. Okay, so now you've plugged it in. Now show how to use the area model and expanded notation to find 29 times 48. So I'm going to probably use this space up here. I'm going to do my partial products. 20 times 40. So 2 and 4, that's 8 plus the 2 zeros for the 10, so that's 800. Then I'm going to do 9 times 40. 9 times 4, 36. And there's 1 0 for the 10. 20 times 8. I know 2 times 8 is 16. And the 1 0 for the 10. And finally the ones. 9 times 8 is 72. I'm going to go back. I'm going to highlight my partial products. Okay. So this will be one way. I'm going to put my numbers and add them together. I'm just adding up my partial products now. 72. 2, 12 and 7, 19, 8, 11, 12, 13. So the answer is 1,392. Now it also asked me to do the expanded notation. That's going to just be taking out each one of these, okay? Expanded notation. So now we're going to put our tens together. So we can say 29 times 48, right? And we're going to expand. That means we're going to stretch this out. So we're going to do the tens. So we can say 20 plus 9 times 40 plus 8. Okay, that's breaking that up. And then if we want to do the 2, we can do 2 times 10 plus 9. You know what? Don't look at this. Scratch my expanded. We'll come back to that one in class. This is taking me too long and I have to go back and remind myself about that. So sorry. Here's how we would use this area model. Scratch my expanded. Sorry, guys. All right, let's move on to number 9. Estimate 15 times 34. So we're going to round. This is important. Round each number to the nearest 10. Here we go. 15. I locate the tens place and I look to my right. So 5 tells me round up. So our new equation will be 20 times, let's round this. 4 tells me stay low, stay low. So it will stay at 30. I'll take my whole numbers, 2 times 3, that's 6, and I'll add my 2 zeros because they each have 1 for their 10. So 600 is the estimate for that equation. Okay, hopefully that's straightforward as well. And finally, our last problem for this morning, before we do the rest together, number 10. We're going to choose true or false to describe the statement. So we just have to read them and see what we think, okay? 8 times 93 is greater than 8 times 90. I hope you just quickly know the answer that yes, that will be true. The 8s are the same, so now I'm comparing 93 and 90. Well, 93 is greater than 90, which means this would be greater than this, okay? B, an estimate of 8 times 93 is 2,700. So let's round here. If I was going to make a new equation, I would do 8 times, well, 93. I would round to 90. I would say 8 times 9 is 72. There's 1 0 for the 10. 720 would be an estimated. So nope, false. Very, very off. How about C? 8 times 93 can be 8 times 9 plus 8 times 3. Yeah, it can. I'm going to write it up here. 93 times 8. It's just like when you're doing it this way. You start in the ones, so this would be 8 times 3 plus, then the 8 does this one too. The 8 goes to the 9. 8 times 9, that's the expanded form. Then you would solve those and put them together. Okay, so we can say yes, true, true, true. All right, 8 times 93 is less than 800. Okay, well, we're lucky because we did this. We estimated it right here. We got 720. Well, we can solve this. Let's give it a try. 93 times 8. 8 times 3, 24. 8 times 9, 72, 73, 74. 744. So yes, true, it is less than 800, which we kind of had a feeling about because we had already estimated that. So true, false, true, true. Okay, and that is number 10. So I hope that you guys have now completed your practice test through number 10. You have highlighted any questions that you want to ask me for any problems, and we will complete our practice together during math time today. All right, fourth graders, see you later.